Good evening, everybody. It is I, Eric Bradshaw, and I'm here with my fellow Fargonauts, Wilson,
That's me. Hi.
Tyler.
Hello, Bracho.
We are here again to watch a pilot episode to a 80s, 90s Disney cartoon. We've been doing that for a while now. We hit some bangers, hit some classics. Now we're at a what can be seen as a precursor of sorts. We are going to be watching the Adventures of the Gummi Bears. It aired for 6 seasons, which is weird because a lot of these shows, are like 2 seasons long. But it ran from September 1990. Well, that doesn't make sense. So September of 1990 to February of 91. So maybe they did 2 seasons a year. I don't know.
Crap. They must have thought this was going to be a banger, and they're like, let's just keep it running. Let's churn these puppies out.
These kids are never going to slow down on eating these fucking sugary goddamn gummy bears. We got to keep making this show.
1985 to 91. My bad. There we go. But it ran for 6 seasons, like I said, a long time. Created by a guy's name is Jim Magan, and his first name is spelled like the word him, like what? Yeah, I just realized that didn't work because it's Hymn, but it's Jymn. Jim.
Okay, you were saying it like him, spelled like him, like sure, like normal.
I realized as soon as I said it, and I was like, shit, that's like a
word I understood.
Okay.
But he was he created, story edited, and wrote on a bunch of the following shows like DuckTales, Chip and Dale, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. He also worked on a Goofy movie, all that stuff.
I love his name. That's all I care about is how he spells Jim.
Jim. But what's cool is it was this little snippet here from the wiki article. It says the lavishly budgeted series became iconic for not only spearheading the style of Disney animated series that followed, but also starting an era of artistic improvement in television animation spurred on its success, with competitors forced to improve their own artistic standards to avoid unfavorable comparisons.
You telling me that Gummi Bears was a trailblazer?
It was. We have the shows that followed because of Gummi Bears.
Oh my god.
The reputation set by Gummi Bears.
Well, now we have to give it its flowers.
I know. All these shows that followed, all the classics, started late 80s after this had been going. Another little fun fact, the theme song, which is an absolute banger.
Okay. It might come back to me when we watch it, but
is performed by Joseph Williams, who is the lead singer of Toto.
John Williams' son?
John Williams' son, yes, son of film composer John Williams. He's not like the lead singer of Toto that you know from like Hold the Line, Rosanna, and Africa. Like that guy got kicked out of the band or left the band, and then he came in after, and he is currently their lead singer also. But yeah,
he will sing Africa, right?
John Williams' son. Oh yeah. They sing all the hits. But yeah, he is John Williams' son. John Williams' son and the lead singer of Toto sang this song.
Oh my god, I want to get into it. Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, with we won't get any deeper into it. We'll save the fun little voice cast stuff till after. You guys were saying that you have like no experience with this show, right?
None.
Basically, yeah. I remember watching it as a kid, but it was so long ago that my memory... Right. Like, I remember the intro a tiny bit, but anything past that, gone.
Right. I'd catch an episode here or there back in the day, but it wasn't aired as frequently as the other ones we've done on this show. So, Yeah, it'll be fun to kind of dig into and see what's the deal with gummy bears.
What's the deal with sugar?
That made it so popular. You know what I mean? It should be noted it's spelled Gummi Bears. It was only very loosely inspired by the candies. So.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, and we can look this up while we watch, but like, I swear to God that there was a product that was tied in with the show. Maybe it was an already existing brand, and they just joined up on it, or maybe but I seem to remember
they probably did a collab with people.
Yeah, I seem to remember eating gummy bears, and it was on the package of the different characters.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sure they probably did some sort of brand deal.
Like Shaq,
But,
Shaq has his Shaqalicious gummies,
Yeah, or like your Scooby Doo fruit snacks. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Hey, Shaq is a gummy.
But there are some. I was doing a little bit of skosh of research before we recorded, and there are some very interesting voice actors I'll be interested to get into once we get on the other side.
If they're from the main cast, I want to see if I can pick up on them as we watch. I think that's
fun. I bet we'll recognize some voices.
All right. Yep. Sounds good. And stay tuned after we watch for a quick announcement from Pet Translator 3000. Have you ever looked into your dog's eyes and thought, "What are you thinking, buddy?" Well, now you can finally hear the answer and regret it immediately. Introducing the Pet Translator 3000, the only device banned in 4 countries for psychological destabilization via meows.
Tried it on my cat, and he said, "You're not the boss of me, Greg. My name isn't Greg." Every time you say, "Who's a good boy?" it's me. It's always been me. Freedom is a cage made of sunflower seeds.
Our state-of-the-art, questionably ethical microchip captures the raw, uncensored thoughts of your pet. Unedited, unfiltered, and 100% emotionally devastating.
Let me out, you flightless fool. My parent called me a sentient sock puppet.
That means he respects you. Probably. Whether you want to bond with your dog, decode your cat's spite, or finally prove your goldfish isn't just staring blankly, Pet Translator 3000 is here to ruin your day in the most honest way possible.
Truth hurts.
Truth hurts, but so does stepping in mystery poop. That's 10 raccoons in unison saying that.
Whispering.
Oh, they're whispering. Yeah, they're whispered. Okay. Thanks, Pet Translator. That's a really bizarre product, and maybe you don't want to hear what your pets say. I like the dog. Right. Every time you say "who's a good boy," it's me. It's always been me.
It's always been me.
God damn it, it's me. Come on now. All right, so we just watched Gummi Bears. Bracho, you introed this, and you got into the theme song a little bit. That theme song was great. It was bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Vocals. It's fun. It's whimsical. It's light. It's like the show. You know what I mean?
Yep. I feel for this Tuffy Gummy or Gruffy Gummy. Is that what his name was?
Gruffy Gummy.
Gruffy Gummy?
Gruffy Gummy.
Gruffy.
Trouble speaking and saying Gruffy.
Oh, Gruffy. I liked him and Tummy. Him and Tummy are the OG.
Tummy was my boy, dude. Yeah. I mean, the general conceit of the episode is little boy is a page, and he gets picked on, and some ogres show up.
Yep, some ogres.
Where the knights are. And then gummy bears show up, which are they're named after the gummy berry juice that they drink. I guess when they drink it, they become bouncy for some reason.
And humans get like superpowers?
Super strong, yeah. And yeah, so little boy goes hangs with gummy bears. And then the ogres try to attack the king. And with a disgraced former knight leading them.
Yep.
And it doesn't go well for him. And the adventure begins. There you go.
So yeah,
You don't have to watch the episode now.
Yeah, I can see that being the main plot of all of them. Is like something happens with the bad guys and the ogres. They try to do a new scheme or something, and then the gummy bears have to like get their courage and go fight them, or
Right.
do some kind of new feat of gummy bear power. And then at the end, they like write in their journal saying like, "Hey, today
the gummy bear book.
We helped the kid. We helped this fucking
We helped
kid.
the boy.
We helped the little boy."
Today we helped the boy. Yeah, pretty much.
It was
fun.
It was fun, but I mean, I would say from what we've watched before, it's sort of a mid story. I don't know if I can buy into gummy bears with like.
It's not like if that was just a short where it was a beginning, middle, and end. Like I'm content and I don't need to watch more. You know what I mean?
I don't think I would continue watching this one for sure.
But it was fun. You can see why it was a precursor to all those other shows.
I don't feel
you gotta
like
remember
to know
too,
what happens to Cavan.
Yeah, Cavan. I mean, like,
Calvin
you gotta
and
remember at the time this was on, which was like 80, like we said, 85. The other stuff that was on at the time was like the shit we did in the previous series.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like Transformers and stuff.
Transformers, He-Man,
Yeah,
Thundercats.
Look at those. Shit. Look at some of those stills.
Yes.
From
an animation and compare it to this.
That's actually really surprising though. So yeah, good on them.
Yeah. And like and it's that classic like how things are designed in like Disney movies and stuff. The character, it's got the classic Disney look to it. And yeah, the animation background paintings were always good too. Loved those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how each of the gummy bears is like distinct from each other. They have very distinguished and like refined designs for their simplicity.
Like you're saying, similar to like with gargoyles, they all have unique silhouettes too, so there's no mistaking who they are.
Gargoyles has good that is one thing that I think it shares with some of these other ensemble shows. It's just like Chip and Dale's does that.
Yeah.
DuckTales, I could say,
Right.
Tailspin. A lot of these shows have good variety in their characters.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I feel like you, Tyler, where it was like I enjoyed the experience, but I could see it as a complete unit, and I don't need to watch the rest necessarily.
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe it really picks up over the 6 years.
It could be. I mean,
it does.
Went for 6 years. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
did some reading.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it came around because Michael Eisner got the inspiration when I think his son just said to him, like, asked him for some gummy bears, and he was like, "Oh, what about gummy bears?"
Wow, what a spark of insight there.
What?
But that went 6 seasons, so I mean, something there. I guess it's just the child engagement of, and it worked in my mind clearly, of like connecting gummy bear show to gummy bear candy and.
The classic. What do the kids like these days? It was a successful version of that.
Yeah.
Oh, so the voices.
Oh, here we go. This will be interesting.
Yeah.
The ones
so you guys definitely did a good job on some of them.
The other ones, you did a bad job.
How dare you?
Zummy Gummy, who is the old man wizard boy bear, old man bear.
Yep.
He is voiced by, you identified correctly, Paul Winchell, the original voice of Tigger. He also did like, where's that? I never realized too he was Dick Dastardly in Wacky Races
Oh, cool.
and
Oh.
Gargamel on the Smurfs as well.
Yeah, the Gargamel thing kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But Paul Winchell did Zummy Gummy for seasons 1 through 5, and then Jim Cummings did it for season 6. Gruffy Gummy, who was the grumpy guy, the grumpy man, was voiced originally by a man named Bill Scott. Does that name mean anything to you guys?
Bill Scott. Adam Scott's
No,
dad?
I can't say it
don't know.
does.
All right. Well, he was the voice of Bullwinkle and Mr. Peabody,
Oh my gosh.
as well as Dudley Do-Right.
Well, yeah, he does those goofy, kind of silly voices a lot of the times.
And
Hey
which bear
there,
is that again?
Rocky. How are you?
But-
Good.
He only does it for season 1 though. And then Corey
which bear was that?
Burton. Huh?
Which bear was
Gruffy.
that one?
Gruffy, the grumpy one.
Okay. Yep.
But he only does it for the first season.
Mm.
And then Corey Burton, whose name has come up a million times in both of the series we've done, takes over for 2 through 6. Here's a fun little thing too. Grammy Gummy, old lady, the matriarch.
Yep.
She was voiced by one June Foray,
Yep, that's Rocky.
who was Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's fun. Rocky and Bullwinkle in this show too.
Yep. And Tigger. Like, come on. And then Tummy Gummy, you guys correctly guessed, was also the voice of Garfield on Garfield and Friends. Mr. Lorenzo Music.
Lorenzo Music. Great name.
Yeah, that's his name. He was a writer and stuff too back in the day. He co-created the Bob Newhart show.
Oh,
He
cool.
He wrote episodes for Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda.
Yeah. Those are all like
but
a
yeah.
shared universe too.
Yep. But yeah, he gained fame in the 80s for voicing Garfield in 12 animated specials and later in animated series.
I love his like complete blasé attitude. Like, whatever, man.
Right.
Like Monday.
Kevin was voiced originally in season 1 by a guy named Christian Jacobs. What's crazy is he is the co-creator of Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this guy, the original voice of Kevin. And then later voices, his voice gets replaced every season. I don't know if it's to reflect aging or what, but there's some dude named Brett Johnson who I know nothing about. Then it's David Faustino from Married with Children, fucking Bud Bundy in season 3, and then Mr. Max Goof himself, Jason Marsden, in seasons 4 and 5. And then guy named R.J. Williams in season 6. Haven't looked into him.
John Williams' other son?
John
That would be
Williams'
hilarious.
other child?
Other kid?
Other child?
Other William.
The guy who played the king is named Michael Rye.
What a guy,
he
though.
was-
My gosh, that king was
Yeah.
bonkers.
Just an absolute Chad.
He's just
he
a,
was
like,
the voice
unit.
of-
Look at that guy.
An absolute
Yeah, dude.
king. my king. Now that's my king.
You dropped
That's
this,
my
king.
But he was Apache Chief and Green Lantern in the various Super Friends shows. He played President Kane on Battle of the Planets, another show we watched. He was also in played Mysterio in the '80s Spider-Man cartoon. Played Magneto on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Whoa.
Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff
Well, I'm glad that we see
for years.
we see voice actors that aren't just, the Disney mainstays. We see guys that
Right.
were in other things. That's pretty great.
Oh, Michael Rye was also the disgraced knight too, the bad guy.
Oh, cool.
He
played both
was the
the king
bad
and
guy
bad
as
guy.
well as because I thought I heard some similarities there.
Yep. Rob Paulson
I mean, pretty.
guests on it as another gummy bear named Gusto Gummy. Tress McNeil, aka Dot Warner.
Oh,
She's
wow.
plays a sorceress named Lady Bane. So yeah, there's a lot of people. There's someone in here voiced character named Ursa. The voice actor's name is Pat Music, but it's ICK, not just IC, so it's not Lorenzo Music related,
Okay.
which is just funny that you have two people independently last named Music on your show.
It's kind of silly.
But yeah, that's it's not, as you can tell, they don't have all of your regular 90s people in there quite yet
Right.
that you get in every other show.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a few of them and a very interesting cast of people that you might consider the old guard at that point.
So, if you were to take a guess at the style, would you say like this is medieval Bohemia or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
It's medieval Europe.
Bohemia. Yeah, medieval, England, Europe.
England, Europe, yeah.
England. You think it's like set in
Or at least
England?
what I associate with that. But I bet a historian could look at some of this and be like, "Oh, these garments are clearly based on like what would have been worn by this group or by these people or whatever." But I do think it's funny though that the yellow gummy bear on the far left here at the bottom is basically just wearing Peter Pan getup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Pan.
100%.
Yeah. That is totally it with the little like spiky shoulders or like those frayed shoulders.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
This is fun. I mean, like you said, like it feels like a mile wide and an inch deep. There's 6 seasons, and it's all just gonna be like basically the same episode over and over. Maybe with some variation. But
Right. Yeah, like I said, who
there's
knows?
a lot
Maybe
of it
there
there.
starts to be a story more later, but right
hold
now
on,
there's
how
not.
long is each season? Is it like
That's a good question. I didn't look
20?
because I don't know if they're
Okay.
on that fuck you 50 episode.
That would be
seasons like everybody.
the most insane part of it.
13 for the first season.
Yeah, that's makes sense.
8 for the second.
Oh, what?
Hmm.
8
So just
for
because it was
the
expensive?
And then they just keep
third.
going with 8s.
Probably. 10 for the fourth.
10.
8 again
8.
for fifth, and for sixth we got
Huh.
quite a bit. They kind of
What?
threw out all of them at the end.
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
19.
Interesting.
Yep, 18.
Well, there we go.
And the style you can tell changes a bit too.
Maybe it's just
Well,
because
yeah,
it was expensive right away. Maybe.
Maybe.
yeah.
I can see
Well,
that.
yeah. Some of this, I think, the length of seasons kind of reflects like success and cost and different things. And then, yeah, like the season 6 stuff we were just looking at it does look a little bit different, and some of that I think maybe could be attributed also to like change in staff of who's doing what on the show. You got new people coming in after that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. The show's fine. I like the
It
acting
was
in it.
enjoyable.
Yeah,
and it was
enjoyable.
inoffensive. And that's
Completely.
it. You know, there's
I
fun
don't know
stuff
how
in it.
anybody could be.
Good voice acting, good animation, but
You know,
yeah.
probably more for the juvenile audience, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just literally mean like a younger audience would probably be like, "I'm into it."
Yeah, it's a lot of bright
Right.
colors. It's got that going for it. It's definitely a drastic change from watching Gargoyles. And just real quick aside, I did watch more of that. I was telling Wilson Groucho
Yeah.
that I watched up to episode 4, I think, and I've just been like turning it on at night, and like the mood in that is so much different than anything we've watched. Like it's very somber toned. It's not like high energy, high like, you know, people are very subtle with their delivery of their lines. It's not like, wow, this is so wacky. It's kind of like almost quiet. It's like, hey,
Right.
we really have to do this. Like, it's really important we do this. And like, there's so much like weight behind everything they're saying. So I'm like, damn, this show is like deep. And then you have this like,
Yeah.
well, this wacky, zany gummies bouncing around. But yeah, like that's just it shows that stuff like that is so rare, and like that it like strikes a nerve with your older self after you watched it as a kid. It's like, wow, this was great, and I'm glad I watched it when I was a kid, because now I can appreciate it a little more that I was around watching stuff like that.
Right.
Kind of developing your taste, you know, as a young kid.
I was watching.
I saw everything.
I don't know if you knew this, but I was watching, and I saw those bears. They were bouncing here and there and everywhere.
What's on the docket next, Brocho? Are we getting into anything silly, zany, or?
Let's see. So last week when we did this, did I get Gummy Bears out before my phone died?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
you
you
think you did.
Because I know I said it. As soon as I said it, my screen went to the Samsung screen before it dies.
Oh
So I
shit!
was like, I don't know if I got it in there or if it just
No, you
died
did.
before I got it out.
You got the
Okay,
gummy
cool.
bears inside.
It was literally just
Yeah.
a quick 2-second I don't know if I'm gonna make it. All right, so we are now, well, let's see, we are 9 shows deep so far
Yeah.
with 4 left to go. And the next one is a little show I like to call Marsupilami.
Here we go.
Good thing I like to call it that, because that's what it's called. So
Well, you can call it whatever you want and like it.
yeah, I know. I realized when I said it that I like to call. I'm like, well, but that's just
just what
everybody
it's called.
My fun little nickname for a show is maybe you haven't heard of it. Marsupilami.
So okay,
The actual title is Marsupilami.
hit me with
yeah.
this, Brocho. What is the cartoon from this series that released the latest?
So it's definitely one of the latter couple on the card here.
Okay.
We have, so the later ones, see, probably Recess.
Yeah.
So there's the shows we have left are Marsupilami, Recess, Pepper Ann, and Mighty Ducks. So they're all kind of later. Let me see.
Mighty Ducks is fairly late as well. I remember that being
Let me
super
see.
late in the game.
Recess.
Reese's?
No,
You saying
Recess. Reese's
peanut butter?
Reese's?
started in 1997. Was Recess.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
Miss Pepper Ann.
Mr. Ann.
Mr. Ann.
Mr.
Mr.
Ann.
Pepper.
Pepper Ann was also
Pepperman.
97. And let's see. Mighty Ducks the animated series was 1996, a year before.
So,
Oh, wow.
do you
Okay.
think which one ended the last, or Recess? I'm
Ended the
assuming.
latest?
Gosh.
Yeah, ended the latest.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Recess went for a pretty long time. I
I want to
my
say
memory? I
the
don't
movie Recess. The movie came
Recess.
out in like 2000 or something.
Yeah.
But we
Recess.
can't count the movie as the
But it's like,
series running that long.
but still, it's like in the public. It's still being
Yeah,
made.
like-
Stuff for it's being made.
it's a fair point.
It looks like 2001
Ooh,
was when that ended.
Recess is over.
Pepper Ann also ended in 2001.
Oh, really?
Time to go back to class because recess
So-
is over.
I think Recess and Pepper Ann are going to be the latest running ones.
Interesting.
They both end in 2001.
That's going to
Yep.
have, I'm just getting into that because what we've been hitting with a lot of these is I love the discussion of Bracho bringing in the voice actors of old that a lot of people grew up with, right? But then once we get to these later shows, I want to see if that blends into some of these old people, but also bringing in the new people because I know in Recess, there's a lot of voices that are in that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of voice actors that are still around doing voice stuff in like video games, like Ashley Johnson.
Yeah.
She's in Recess.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, there's like Spinelli's character. I forget what was she also Bobby Hill? Like I forget, but I mean, but still doing like that compare and contrast.
Yeah. Also Bobby Hill, yeah.
The compare and contrast of the voice actors that are still around doing stuff, and then if there's any bleed in, or keeping some of the old people that have been doing stuff for Disney in the loop too. So yeah, just keep in mind. That'll be a fun discussion to see the new fresh meat that they bring in for voice acting.
Meat.
No, mincemeat.
All right, so stay tuned next time when we jump into Marsupilami. Oh, that's
I like vaguely remember that theme song. It's like a jungle beat, like
Pretty chaotic.
like drums, like Marsupilami, something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
yeah. I
100%.
could totally see that being the thing because that kind of reminds me of like a animal version of George of the Jungle, or like it could be something like that.
Yeah, and I remember it being pretty like loosey goosey and freeform, a little bit bonkers esque, but we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely, the character looking at the thumbnails looks like a bonkers offshoot.
I'm saving myself. I'm waiting. Waiting for Marsupilami.
I'm saving myself
I
for
am.
Marsupilami. I hope my
Yeah.
Marsupilami comes. All right.
Okay,
Gummi Bears?
Okay, you said that. I never said that. Let's just move on.
Gummy Bears.
All right, guys. Yep. Goodbye. I hope you had fun. I hope you eat some gummy bears.
I hope you just make better nutritional decisions than that, but eat what makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Eat the worms. Have the worms and the dirt.
Consume the worm. Shy Faloo.
Yeah.
Lisa Nagaib.
Lisa Nagaib. He is the Quizette's Hatterack.
That's the
With a
shit they were writing.
Quizette's Hatterack, give a dog a bone.
That's what the gummy bears were writing in the book. They were writing Dune.